Hey, Big Heath, is having a card collection a bad investment?
Well, not necessarily. Cars generally lose value, especially if they're driven a lot. But if you keep old cars in great condition, then they can be worth literally millions of dollars, especially if they're old cars that you restored.
No, not car, card collection.
Well, I wouldn't plan my retirement around it. But it could yield some money. Maybe put some money in an IRA instead.
Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, no. Fool. This Trident Dragon, it's gonna be worth like $400 in 10 years. Sucker.
You've often heard your uncle say, when that car drives off the lot, it loses X amount of dollars in value. Generally, it's a large number, like several $1,000s worth. Are they right? Are they wrong? Well, the financial concept they're referring to there is called depreciation. Depreciation is the accounting process of allocating the cost of a tangible asset over its useful life. Basically, it's like the expense of something losing value. The factors that determine loss of value are things like wear and tear, age, and obsolescence, words associated with entering your 30s. Circling back to our car example, say you buy a brand new Chevy Colorado truck at a price of $30,000. I thought we were talking about a car. Have I already confused you? Fine, motor vehicles. A $30,000 motor vehicle. It is said that vehicles depreciate more in their first year, roughly 20 to 30%. Let's say on average 25%. Multiply that percentage by the value, and then divide by 365. And then we hit our faces off a calculator, and you'll get a total daily depreciation of roughly $20.55. So yeah, not quite thousands of dollars. However, the expression refers to the fact once a vehicle is owned and used, it will almost never sell for what it was purchased for. Although our calculation is the science of it, the reality is, yes, once it has its first owner, it can ever only be previously owned, which generally always decreases the market price of owning a vehicle. This is an example of one of 3 ways to calculate depreciation. This one is known as declining balance. If you extrapolate it out, we'll say the first year it depreciates 25% for a total of $7,500. Then every year after that, it depreciates 10%. So then every year we take that new number of subtracted depreciation, multiply it by the new percentage to get our next amount of annual depreciation. Subtract that from the value and repeat. Now, let's talk about some other ways to calculate depreciation. And if you'll stick around, I'll tell you why things losing value could actually be in your benefit. The next method for calculating depreciation is what my high school nickname was when I was playing running back in my junior year, the unit of production. Well, units of production. This is generally used to calculate the depreciation of production-related equipment, but can technically extend to other assets, like housing or delivery trucks. Units of production calculates the depreciation by how much the asset produces. For example, your mom gets a Cricut machine. Now she's making mugs, hats, car decals, and t-shirts with your embarrassing baby pictures on it and selling them for profit. The machine may cost $550, and when she's done with it, she's gonna get maybe $50 out of it. So we subtract that $50, also known as the salvage cost, from that $550, and you're left with $500 of depreciable value. Now let's say the Cricut can make, say, 10,000 things before it croaks. Or, when your mom gets bored of it. Whichever one. We take the 500 and divide it by 10,000, and we get 5 cents per item. Meaning that every time your mom makes a shirt with you about to poop in the tub, the machine loses 5 cents of value.
The last method that we'll talk about today is what's called straight line depreciation. Like the line, it's straight to the point. This method is great for bookkeeping, as it's consistent year in and year out, unlike that last relationship you had. Similar to the last method we discussed, we start by subtracting the salvage value from the cost or price of the asset. Let's say you bought a llama breeding machine. the hell? I'm not saying that. I'm not even entertaining that as a hypothetical. I mean, who is seriously considering purchasing that? Farmers. Farmers. Don't you think they should just, I don't know, do it the way God intended? My Lord. Okay, let's say you bought an excavator. You know, to heave all the dirt out of this script. Say it went for $15,000. And when it's all said and done, you get $2,000 when you scrap it. So subtract $2,000 from $15,000, and you get a depreciable amount of $13,000. Now let's say you'll get 8 good years out of it. This is called the asset's useful life. We divide the $13,000 by 8 and get $1,625, meaning that each year the asset depreciates $1,625 until the end of its useful life. So after all that mind-numbing math, you're probably going to say, thanks, Big E, for teaching me how to calculate how worthless my stuff is going to be. How am I going to benefit from the stuff not working one day or wearing down over time? Well, humble viewer, if you don't know what I'm going to say, then you should definitely subscribe to our channel to watch more videos, because clearly you haven't seen enough. If you had, you would have known I'm going to tell you the reason depreciation is important, not just for determining profitability, but depreciation is in fact tax deductible. Ding, ding, ding. Tax deductible. Yes, meaning that your tangible assets losing value can in fact save you money on taxes. So if you did depreciate depreciation before, I'm sure you appreciate it now. All right, come on, those are jokes. Come on, these things write themselves, you know, come on. And that's our show. Thanks for watching. And remember, when your uncle tells you about that fish he caught, or how he dated Mila Kunis in high school, he's probably lying. But when he talks about a car depreciating when she first comes off the lot, that is something you can be certain of. We'll see you next time.